I was just sent some electric socks for riding this winter. Am I going to need a really long extension cord? Hi, I'm John and welcome to Cycling on a Shoestring, and I'm really excited about doing this review because I've been wanting to do a product like this for quite some time here on my channel. As a matter of fact, this winter I was going to purchase some heated socks and try them out right here and review them. But it's rather serendipitous. A company got in touch with me just a couple of weeks back and they said, would you test out our heated socks? We've made improvements on last year's model. We'd like to see what you think. I said, you bet. I'm going to give you an honest, thorough review here on Cycling on a Shoestring. The company, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Auempress, Auempress, okay? And they sent these to me. They're $50.99 right now on Amazon. Now that's in Canadian dollars. I'll put a link in the description below so you can check them out. And here's what you get. First off, they come in this box right here. No branding on the box, a little information on the back about batteries and whatnot, which I'll get into. The batteries and the charging cord come in this box on the inside. So nothing too fancy, but a nice little package that you get in the mail. Now what comes in the box? Here's what you get right here. You get a couple of batteries, 4,000 milliamp hour batteries. They say from low to high setting, from 4 to 7 hours. So 7 hours on the low setting and 4 hours when they're on the high setting. A booklet on how to operate the socks, also on care for the socks, cleaning. After all, these are electric, so we'll tell you a little bit about that as well. You get a couple of socks as well, and you get a charging cord. Now, as far as the charging cord goes itself, usually these are pretty unspectacular, but this is a good one. It's USB-C, which I was surprised to see, and you can charge both of the batteries at the same time. This is just a single cord, which you can use for both batteries, so that's kind of nice to see. Now, as far as the socks go, I'm going to move the camera and get a closer look at the socks, and I'm going to put them on here before I take them out for a ride on a cold day here in Calgary. They say these will fit size 6 to 13. I'm kind of on the high side of that sizing, so we'll let you know how they feel. And also the settings will go from 45 Celsius on low to 65 Celsius on high. Now, 65 Celsius is pretty darn hot. As a matter of fact, that's just slightly below the internal temperature of chicken when you cook it, okay? I do have a meat thermometer here. I don't know that this is very scientific, but I'm going to put this in the sock and we'll see how hot they get. So let me change the camera angle here. We'll take a close look at these socks. I'll put them on, we'll test the heat of them, and then I'm going to take them for a ride on a cold day here in Calgary, and right here on Cycling on a Shoestring. Here we have the socks side by side, and I've actually had to zoom out quite a bit on them just to get them in the shot, which is a good thing because they're rather long. When you're riding in cold weather, of course, you want to keep your toes warm and your feet warm, but the longer they go up your shin, the more warmth you have while you're riding. So it's good that they're very long. They're 100% cotton, so they're very soft. They feel good quality here. But it gives you an idea of how to care for these when it comes to cleaning. Now, you never throw them in the dryer. If you wash these and throw them in the dryer, they're not going to be this size anymore because they are cotton socks. So what you do with them is you hand wash them and hang dry them, or you get one of those little laundry bags, you throw the socks in there, you can put them in the washer, but then you hang dry these socks. Again, they feel nice and warm. The toes and the heel look almost more like a fleece-like material, very soft, but again, 100% cotton. Now here's a look at the element of the sock itself. Let me get a zoom in on this so you can take a look at it. You can see the wire that goes across the toe. Now it's about 4 to 5 inches of the toe back onto your foot. So that's the only heating element on these socks. I'm wondering if I'm going to feel that heating element when I put them on and whether I'm going to feel it when I'm pushing down on pedals, but it is a soft material in there that should feel rather comfortable when I get the socks on themselves. Now at the end, you've got the cord that you attach the battery to, and I'm going to show you in just a second a close-up of how the battery goes into the sock. Again, I'm wondering if this battery, if I'm going to feel this on the side of my foot, or the side of my leg when I put the socks on, and whether I'm going to feel that when I'm out riding. Let's take a look at the batteries, how they go into the socks, and then we'll take these things for a ride. So this is how the battery goes into the sock. Over here you've got where it plugs into the sock itself, and on this side over here that's your charging port with your USB-C. And in here in the sock itself there's a little pocket right in here. So let me just slide it in there, and it goes in rather snug. All right, it slides right in there like that. Now you'd want to have it so that the controls are on the top, so you might want to adjust it while you're out riding, but then you just take the little cord and you plug it into the side, and then you've got the wire in there, and that's how it goes in. And again, I'm interested in finding out whether I can feel this on the side of my leg or whether it's, uncomfortable while I'm riding with it on. Again, it's nice soft material, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And again, if your feet are warm, what's a little bit of discomfort with a battery on the side of your leg? But we'll find out when we take it out for a ride. Now, here's actually how the battery works. I took this video a little bit earlier. It's pretty simple. You've got two different sets of lights on this battery. The bottom set of lights you're seeing right now are the temperature settings, so 1, 2, and 3, so lowest to highest setting. And the top set is the battery itself. So you've got 30, 70, and 100% with the battery, and you can see that it flashes while it is charging, and it'll be solid when you actually get it fully charged. Now, something to know about this, and I found out, it's good to know, is that if you turn the battery on accidentally and it's not plugged into the sock, after about a minute, the battery goes off, so you're not going to waste any energy. So here you can see the socks. I've got them on, and as you can see, they come up pretty far on the shin. My knee is right there, so you're going to get some extra warmth on your leg because they wrap around your leg. And as far as how they feel really comfortable. I don't really feel the element in the toes of these. Might be a little bit thicker, but I don't think that's an issue. Now here is the battery itself, and you can see around the back here, there's the cord. I'm going to plug these in, and I'm going to make sure it's turned on. So it's on the high setting right now. I'm going to slide it into that little pocket back here. See, it's right there, and just slide it right in. And let me see if I can feel that. See where the battery is right here. Okay, so I don't really notice that it's there. It's not, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I'm wondering if I get winter pants on, whether them being a little tighter, that'll push that into the back of my leg, but right now I don't think that's going to be an issue. And because it's on, I can feel it getting warmer now. Now, as far as sizing goes, are these size 6 to 13? I'm kind of 11 and a half, 12, and there's still a little bit of room in here for me. I do believe these will be large if you're a size 6. I mean, quite large. But overall, they feel pretty darn comfortable. Now, it does say low setting 45 Celsius, high setting 65 Celsius. So let's see if we can test that out right now, and then we'll take them for a ride and see if they will pass the ultimate test, keeping my toes warm on a cold ride here on Cycling on a Shoestring. Let's test out the socks and see how warm they get. Now, we're going to turn this on the high setting, and it claims they'll get up to 65 Celsius. Now, this is a meat thermometer I'm using here. I poked it through the toe of the sock, and it's laying along the element inside the toe of the sock. Now, this is not a scientific experiment here, but I do trust my health to this meat thermometer, okay? When I'm cooking meat, I make sure the proper temperature is in that meat so I don't get sick. So let me turn this on now on the high setting. We'll just hit the button here. And as you can see, hopefully on there, might not be focused in, but the 3 lights are on for the heat setting. So this is all the way up to the top setting. And right now it's at 21.3 Celsius, and you can see it moving. So it started at 21.3, and we'll see how long it takes to get up to maybe 65 Celsius. So we just hit 40.7 degrees Celsius. It took about 15 minutes to get there, and it's very slowly moving up. Now, the claimed temperature at low is 45, and at high is 65 Celsius. Now, I will state that's only on Amazon. It doesn't say it in the booklet that you get with these. Now, 40.8 Celsius right now. You can see how slowly it's going up now. I don't think we'll ever get to 65. It will take an hour or more to get to 45 at this rate. 40 is warm. So if you have 40 inside your boot while you're out riding, it will likely keep you warm, but it's definitely not 45 on low to 65 Celsius. I don't think we're ever going to get to 65, not at this rate. Now again, it took about 15 minutes to get to this temperature, so about 18, 19 degrees warmer than room temperature. So if you do buy these, put them on, turn them on, and about 15 minutes later go out for your ride. But we're going to have to test them out on the road to see if they actually keep your feet warm. We've had a good look at these socks, how they feel, how they work, how they look on my feet, but we can't finish up this review until I take them out on a cold ride. But unfortunately for these socks in this review, this is what it looks like outside my house right now in late October. We might have to wait a little bit before we can take these out and finish this review. As you can see, we've got snow here in Calgary and quite a bit of it. It's a Saturday morning and I rode into work today, and I hadn't planned on doing this, but I thought it'd be a good opportunity to give you my first thoughts on these socks, which I'm wearing right now. And thanks to Michael for doing the camera work here. I wore them in this morning just with my regular cycling shoes and my over socks from Sealskin. So these are not insulated. And I have the socks on level 3, so the highest setting possible. First off, as far as the battery goes, the one sock still had 2 lights on out of 3 for the charge. The other sock just had 1 on, so I'm wondering if I'm getting more of a charge loss on one sock more than the other. One did take a lot longer, about 45 minutes to charge, than the other. Now, as far as the socks go, they're very comfortable socks. They look great. When you put them on and you feel that heat underneath, that's just fine. But as you can see it earlier in my video, I showed that the heating element is right under the ball of your foot, right behind your toes. That gets very warm. But if you've ever ridden in cold weather, what gets cold first? Your toes. Your toes get cold first. And on this morning, I noticed coming in on a temperature of -3 this morning with a really strong north wind and a wind chill of -7 this morning. So that's pretty cold. My toes started to get cold. So my preliminary thoughts about the socks, they do keep the bottom of your feet warm, but you need to keep your toes warm. So how do you get those elements underneath your toes and maybe wrapping around to make your feet stay warmer? Because that's the most important part. If you're going to get frostbite, your toes are going to go first. So that's something to think about. Now, I did contact the company because, as you can see, the temperature didn't get up to 65 degrees. They've been nice enough to send me another pair of socks, and I'm going to test them right now, and then we're going to go out on a colder morning. This week, we're expecting temperatures in the minus double digits here in Calgary. Here's the second set of socks. I've got the thermometer exactly the same way I had it in the first set of socks that I tested. And as you can see, on the top is the battery, which is out of focus. The top 2 dots are how much charge the battery has, which it comes with a charge in it already. The bottom 3 are the temperature level. It's on level 3, so the highest level right now. And what I did was I put it in there, and I didn't want to spend too much time on this temperature. I didn't want to take too much time up here. So I put the thermometer in, and I went upstairs to get a coffee. It's been at least 20 to 25 minutes, and the temperature is only at 30, and it's slowly creeping up. I mean, really slowly. The other ones were a lot faster than this, and as you can see, it's kind of fluctuating right now between 30.2 and 30.1 Celsius. We're a long way from the maximum temperature of the first set of socks, which was 45. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test the other one. You can see it setting just off to the left there. I'm going to see how hot that one gets, how quickly. I don't think I need to go for a ride today. I think I've got enough information now with the ride I did on Saturday morning and what I've learned this morning testing out this new set of socks. So here's the second sock in the second set. I turned on the battery on the sock, as you can see, 38 seconds ago. Started off at 19.2 degrees. Let's see how hot this one gets. I'm not going to roll video on this for the whole time that this thing is warming up. So I'm going to stop the video and we'll come back when it maxes out. We're approaching 30 minutes now. The temperature 36 degrees Celsius. That's a long time to wait. And you can see it's fluctuating back and forth between 35.9 and 36. It's slowly been going up. But at this rate, we would wait hours before it ever got to 65, which is the claimed temperature of the maximum setting on these socks. I don't think I need to go out for a ride today. It's supposed to be minus 17. I think the ride the other day and what we've learned right here is enough to wrap up this review. So let's do that right now. My final thoughts on these heated socks from Auempress. I cannot recommend them at all for a number of different reasons, which you've seen right here on this video. First of all, temperature. There's no consistent temperature on them. In fact, the second set of socks didn't warm up as much as the first set of socks, which are claimed to get up to 65 degrees, and they maxed out at around 45 degrees. I'll get back to that in just a moment. It's an inconsistent product, obviously. Something that really concerns me is the battery charging. I timed the charging on the first set of socks. I drained the batteries right down, plugged them both in at the same time. It took 4 hours and 10 minutes for both batteries to be charged fully, but one battery took about 40 minutes longer to charge than the other one. Then when I did my ride on the weekend and went to work, I rode to work and I rode back. It was 2 hours and 31 minutes of riding, and the one battery was dead when I got home. The other one had one light on, so it still had a bit of a charge. So again, some inconsistency there when it comes to heating. Obviously, they don't keep your feet warm when you're riding. My toes got cold on a day when it was -3 with a -7 wind chill out there. So on a really cold day, they're not going to keep you warm. You've got that heating element under the ball of your foot, and it's not keeping your toes warm, which always get coldest and quickest when you're out on a cold day. So if you can get those elements around the toes, if you want to make some good heated socks, you got to get those elements around the toes. And I'm wondering about heated socks overall. Basically, I've got a furnace running right now in my house. It's blowing hot air. It's a forced air heating, which warms the air around me, which keeps me warm in my house. But there's no air circulation inside a foot jammed in a sock inside a tight shoe. So I'm wondering, I'm not an expert on thermodynamics here, if your toes will ever get warm if you've got a heating element anywhere but on your toes. So that's something to think about as well. Now, as far as 65 degrees Celsius, here is a screenshot from the Amazon posting for these socks, and it says up to 65 degrees. Now, I was upstairs earlier today making coffee, and I thought, I wonder how hot the water gets from my tap. So I measured it. Here's how hot it got right here. Now, this is over 50 degrees Celsius. I could not put my hand underneath my tap for any period of time at 50 Celsius. Can you imagine how excruciatingly painful it would be for a 65 degrees Celsius element to be on your foot? My wife actually tried on the first set of socks I had, and she said she found it rather warm when it was on the full setting, and those socks got up to a maximum of 45 degrees. So 65 degrees is 150 degrees Fahrenheit. That is painful. So that's kind of a false claim on their website. So for all of these reasons, I cannot recommend these socks. And trust me, I wanted to love these. I've been wanting to try heated socks for the longest time, but I just don't think they work. And they need to be more consistent. They need to have some re-engineering to keep your toes warm. So I cannot recommend these socks at all. Now, what I do recommend when you're riding in the cold is go out and get yourself a good pair of socks. And I've reviewed these socks right here on my site. I'll put a link in the description. Get some good socks and do your best to get a good pair of shoes or a good pair of shoe covers that are insulated to help keep you warm if you're riding in the wintertime when it gets real cold. I think I'm going to go riding today anyway, even if it is -17, but I think I'm going to wear these socks right here from Darn Tough. That's the brand name. Thank you very much for watching. I put a lot of work into this one, but I wanted to test these thoroughly. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was fun to do for sure. I do like riding in cold weather as well. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel as well. Hit the bell for notifications. And if you can make a donation to my channel. Click on the little $ inside of the heart. Any money I make on this channel will go right back into reviewing products for you right here. Thanks for watching Cycling on a Shoestring.